why you don't feel satisfied with your art. There might be several reasons why, and today we're going to cover those reasons. So I'll explain my thought process behind the painting that you see here on the screen later on in this video, but for right now, let's talk about you. So you find a reference that you like on Pinterest, and then you go ahead and open up Procreate and start laying down your sketches. You're feeling pretty confident with the sketch, so you go ahead and jump into the colors and you start painting. You throw in your base color, then you add in your lights and your shadows, and then you finish up with the super fine details. And after you're done, you take a step back and you realize the finished painting that you just made is not the image that you had envisioned in your head. You might be wondering, what the heck just happened? I literally had an idea that I've been following from start to finish, and the painting that I'm looking at is just not adding up to what I expected it to be. Now, listen. This scenario happens to all artists, not just you. This happens to me as well. I'm not excluded from y'all. There are times where the ideas that we have in our mind does not fully translate onto the canvas when we're drawing and when we're painting. It's a very common thing, actually, and there is a very solid reason into why this even happens in the first place. Whether you're drawing from a reference or using your imagination, your mind's going to constantly battle itself between what you see on the canvas and what you have envisioned in your head. That's why I say it's hard or nearly impossible to fully translate the image that you think that you want to create, the image that you're imagining and envisioning in your head. Trying to put that onto the canvas, it's a very, very difficult thing to do because it's always going to look different no matter what. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Sometimes when we draw or paint something, we end up, really liking the outcome. But there are times where, as an example, the painting that you see on the screen, where we make something and what we finished with is not exactly what we were looking for or hoping for. This constant battle between your imagination and the reference, it's always going to happen no matter what type of reference you find or what type of idea you get. You're always going to have that battle between your imagination and the reference. The best thing that we could do here is try to combine both to the best of our abilities. And the great thing about, having art as a hobby is art is subjective, or whatever the heck that means. And just because you don't like a finished painting that you made, somebody else might like it, and they might want to even buy it from you. Even though you're not really fully satisfied with it, someone's going to like it, even if that someone isn't you. Other reasons you might not feel satisfied with your art might be, more simpler reasons, like your proportions are a little bit off, or your colors look kind of muted and faded, or your sketch lines are a little bit wobbly. Those are like easy fix that you can get. And you could just ask another artist, or Discords online. If you're not utilizing Discords, they're very, very useful when it comes to getting art critique from other artists. They can help you out a lot. So try it if you're not using Discord. You could use like Instagram and Twitter or TikTok comments too, but there's like a lot of bots on there and a lot of trolls as well, people trying to be funny and stuff. So it's kind of a little bit more difficult to get solid critique through using social media like that. So I can't fully recommend it. You can still utilize it if you want to, but what I found out, for me at least, that helped me out the most was using specific servers, like Sam Does Art server, or like literally any other artist's server on Discord. They have specific chats in there where you can get solid feedback from other artists. So as promised, I'll very quickly go over the painting that you see here on the screen. The idea that I had was a girl looking through the mirror, and she sees like the dark version of herself. The reflection in the mirror is supposed to be her inner demons that she sees. And I didn't necessarily know what I wanted her to look like in the reflection, so I kind of just winged it. I found like a random image on Pinterest and then went from there. So a big chunk of the reflection piece is just me really just trying to use my imagination, and I felt like I didn't completely get the image that I wanted done correctly, especially with the colors too. I wanted it to look, you know, super muted and desaturated, but I don't know, it's just like something about it still feels off to me, even when I'm looking back at it now. I'm not saying I hate it, it's just I felt like I definitely could have done a lot better. But you know, it is what it is. I might not love it, but somebody else might, and they might like it. So it's all good at the end of the day. I could always make another painting. With that being said though, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you liked the video, go ahead and share it. Other than that, I'm out.